Monday, everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of Game Time here on the Outlaw Nation channel. I'm the Outlaw John Rocha, joined as always by Dallas Cowboys #1 fan. Took it on the chin a little bit yesterday, but I also think they don't have too much to hang their heads about here.
Yeah.
Winston A. Marshall. How are you, Winston?
Oh, it started glitching. Hold on. Hopefully that fixed it. I'm fine. I didn't actually watch the game.
Okay.
I was on set all day yesterday, and then immediately went from.
Don't brag. We all work.
But I mean, look, it's not a brag because it's for a project. It's one of my own personal projects.
Nice.
And I was trying to get out the door first thing yesterday morning. Had all the gear with me. Elevator broken. So now I got to lug God knows how much shit by myself. And I ended up being over 35 minutes late to set just because now I got to lug it down 3 flights of stairs and go back and forth and back and forth. Anyway, that's not the important part. I didn't see the game. I just saw the nonsense. And I was tired of everybody being like, Cooper Rush, the truth. Cooper Rush is fine. We'll talk about it, but he's fine. He's not replacing Dak. Stop that nonsense.
Yeah, and the news reports today in the NFL are saying that Dak is going to be back next week to lead the Cowboys. So, if you're going to kind of avoid a quarterback controversy, maybe taking a loss against an undefeated opponent is a way to kind of circumvent some of that anger or frustration that the fan base might get into for sure. And we'll talk about that more in just a little bit when we get into the Cowboys-Eagles discussion for sure. We're going to talk about all the big games that happened in Week 6 in the NFL season. So we appreciate you all hanging out with us. We'll also talk the rest of the games as well in the back end and preview the Monday night game tonight here. We've got Broncos-Chargers. I mean, this is a fascinating thing that Russell Wilson is getting so many national games, Winston. Clearly, the NFL thought this guy was going to be killing it with the Broncos, and it is far from the truth. So we will definitely talk about that as we get into our preview for that as well. Don't forget, Streamlabs and SuperChats are open as well. So send in your stuff. We prefer Streamlabs. Send in your support that way because YouTube takes 50% of the Super Chats now. So please send in Streamlabs if you can send in anything as we go along. And good to see the chat lively as hell already as we're starting off. And the first place we got to go here, Winston, is the Bills-Chiefs game. What a game this was yesterday. I watched that Alabama-Tennessee game on Saturday, and I thought, you know what? I'm good as a football fan for the rest of the weekend. That was a hell of a game. My Commanders had won a few days before, so I was like, I'm done with football. I don't need anything more. And then this Bills-Chiefs game happened, and it was everything that they pitched this thing to be. They promoted this thing to be. This was a literal heavyweight fight between two of the heavyweights in the AFC, each one giving as good as they got, each one making some confounding mistakes. And then in the end, it was the Bills overcoming the Chiefs here, coming back on them, winning 24-20 in Arrowhead. And that was sealed by an interception brought on by a Von Miller pressure on Patrick Mahomes here. Allen threw for 329 yards and 3 touchdowns. And he looked like, once again, he looked like Neo in the Matrix, man. I mean, talk to me about your thoughts on this game, your reactions to this victory here for the Bills and what it means for both of these teams.
I think it is similar to, Brady finally shaking some demons from the Saints because he could not get past them. I know he could do it in the postseason because postseason Brady is just a very different person.
Yeah.
But I think this is a demon that the Buffalo Bills have had to deal with from the Chiefs for a minute. They have, if I'm not mistaken, this isn't the first time that they've, in this era of Allen and Mahomes, that the Bills have walked away with a dub.
Right.
But they have continuously got embarrassed by the Chiefs in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And I think this is setting up for them to feel like this is the last real monkey on their back to make it to the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
I think there are a lot of dangerous teams in the AFC that they're starting to take shape.
Yeah.
But clearly the Bills are the best in that conference. The only team that was really like nipping at their heels just because they're going to be that way as long as Mahomes is there, especially with Kelsey as his main weapon, is the Chiefs.
Yeah.
So this is the type of game that you want to see, man. I mean, both of them throwing for over 300 yards, both of them for multiple touchdowns, and it, both of them had some turnovers. It's just that last turnover is what threw Mahomes into a tizzy there to not be able to pull out the victory. But good for them. to pull this off. Like I know the Bills Mafia is looking to finally exercise those demons that the NFC East put on them all them 90s games, the Super Bowls, man. So maybe this is it. Maybe this is finally it.
I don't know, because it could be the Eagles meeting them in the Super Bowl and beating them yet
Bro,
again.
and then the Eagles beat the brakes off them again. Oh my God. 5 in a row. You go to the Super Bowl 5 times in a row. I mean, maybe not consecutively, but all
Right.
5 appearances, you'll get your ass whipped by the NFC East. Oh Lord. Bro, I swear Buffalo would secede from the fucking country. They would just decide we are a city state. Y'all can kiss our ass. We out. Like,
It's very possible. It's very possible. But yeah, I mean, this was a fantastic game because it seemed like it was teeter-tottering both ways, right? You just didn't know. You kind of felt like at the end there, okay, they've got a lot of time, or they've got enough time for KC to drive down there and take care of business. They scored kind of early. But there just felt like this defense was ready to make a stand, was ready to kind of, as you said, exercise some of those demons for the playoffs last year when they let Mahomes march down on them. And certainly both players, as you said, both quarterbacks, well over 300 yards, they were able to move their offenses against both of these vaunted defenses and get into position to put points on the board. But it wasn't a high-scoring affair. And most of the time it was because the defenses were holding off. I mean, they stopped the Bills a number of times on 4th down. So that tells you that the Bills were ready to do everything they could to try to win this game, but the Chiefs were there to match them for the most part. And at the end there, just took care of business with that interception. But Josh Allen, that leap that he had over that Kansas City defender as he was rushing for that first down was incredible. It reminded me of the dive by Elway there against the Packers when he was quarterbacking in the Super Bowl.
Throwback.
Yeah, you got to do that little extra thing. And this felt to me like not just a regular season game. This felt like this was a mental edge game. And it feels like now the Bills are no longer intimidated to play this team in Kansas City if that's how it ends up. I got a feeling we're going to be in Orchard Park. But I think I feel like this victory is one of those victories you go, you know what? We can do it. We can do it. We can get to the Super Bowl. We can win this thing. And so I kind of like that for the Buffalo Bills, being partial to the Bills Mafia myself.
Right. No, this is like they've had signature wins, but
Yeah.
this is like their signature win, in my opinion, to hang your hat on the rest of the season. You obviously need to finish out with a strong record. You want to try and get home field on the way out, and you now have that edge on Kansas City.
Yeah.
So that's great. I know it's early to be talking about home field, but you'd be surprised. We're already 6 weeks in. Like, how fast did 6 weeks disappear?
Yeah.
You're going to blink, and the remaining 11 are just going to be gone. You know what I'm saying? I guess technically 12 because 17 games per team, but an 18th week. But either way, that shit will disappear. Yeah. And so I think this is typically around the time where you look and you go, okay, we've got a few bye weeks now that have started and all that kind of stuff. Who are we as a team for this season? And the Bills look like the odds-on favorite of the AFC right now, man. And unless they pull in Arizona last year, where everybody thought that, but we kind of talked about this.
Yeah,
Arizona felt like a false flag. It felt like a situation of like you're winning games like 45 to like 43, 42, like randomly. You know what I'm saying? And then off of like Hail Marys or last minute kick efforts. Like, I never fully trusted Arizona. I actually have full faith scarily in the Bills that they can really do this, man.
Yeah, look, and they're one play away from possibly being 6-0 themselves, because remember, against Miami, their only loss of the season, they just ran out of seconds to down the ball to set up a possible field goal to win that game. They ended up losing by 2 points. So they could be 6-0 and absolutely, as you said, be the odds-on favorite right now to be the representative of the AFC in the Super Bowl. And it doesn't get easy. They play the Packers next, and they play a resurgent Jets after the Packers as well. And then it gets a little bit easier, and then boom, they get back into a little bit of the softer part of their schedule here. But like, it's going to be very interesting to see how they play out the next few weeks here. Now, having beaten the Chiefs, is there a letdown against the Packers or a letdown against the Jets? Then they've got the Vikings, who are 5-1 right now, a quiet 5-1. And then they play the Patriots a little bit later on as well, and the Bengals. So this is not easy.
I'm just going to say, man, because now I didn't get a chance to really look at these games yet. Like, now that I'm kind of pacing through this. Yeah, with the exception of the Bills, I'm including the Eagles in this one, man. Because
Yeah.
like you said, they beat us. I
Yeah.
will give them they beat us, but even the fear of like seeing Cooper Rush with 3 interceptions and shit like that.
Yeah.
This is one of those parody Sundays because I'm looking at all these winners and that shit don't make no goddamn sense. None of these. Literally, the only one that maybe makes sense is like the Saints losing because the wheels have come off.
Yeah, right.
And then the Rams because the Panthers aren't good. But like everything else doesn't make a lot of sense. Like we're going to talk about the Steelers and the Bucs. That don't make sense. The Jets beating Green Bay. That don't make sense. The Giants beating the Ravens. Motherfucker, that don't make sense. None of this shit makes any sense.
Yeah, which is what's so fun about talking about this every week because you just never effing know. Just like they say, any given Sunday. It's pretty incredible,
bro.
Sure. Let's see. Let's see if we got any Streamlabs. All right, keep sending them in, ladies and gentlemen. Send in your Streamlabs super chats in support for what we're doing here. You guys wanted us to come back every week to talk about the NFL. We're back. Send in your support as a thank you for us being back. And if you're watching it later, there's a thanks button that you can hit as well and donate some money. Hitting that thanks button as a thank you for us doing the show. Let's move on to your game here, Winston A. The Philadelphia Eagles, they improved, as we mentioned, to 6-0 here with Jalen Hurts leading the way. He threw for 155 yards and 2 touchdowns in a 26-17 win over the Cowboys. C.J. Gardner-Johnson had 2 of Philadelphia's 3 interceptions of Cooper Rush. That was rough to see, and the Eagles stayed undefeated. But, I mean, the Eagles were up 20-0, and the Cowboys shrank the lead to 20-17 before the Eagles finally put this thing away. So what do you take away from this? I mean, can we stop saying that the Eagles are somewhat of a surprise? Are they real now to you? Do you sense that this is a team that is going to be a very difficult out the rest of the way and into the playoffs?
I mean, I think that's the thing. I think the Eagles have now, by beating us, because you're beating a division rival and you're beating a division rival that has arguably the best defense in the league, but we're at least top 5, but I would say arguably the best. But you know, I get it if someone wants to pick anybody else.
Sure.
Odds on favorite. I think the few things that are there though is nothing. I think there's nothing to say. I think truthfully, if I say that we're the best defense in the league, for Hurts to still put up for Hurts to still put 155 and 2 touchdowns amongst 4 sacks, you know what I'm saying? Like that's still really damn impressive.
If Cooper Rush doesn't throw 3 interceptions, Winston, I think you guys have a fantastic chance to win that game.
Absolutely.
I mean, Trayvon Diggs slammed his helmet into the ground after that final touchdown because he knew that they could win the game.
Yeah.
So
it was wild, bro, because the few pieces of the game I did see, like I saw it was either interception number 2 or 3. I actually saw 2 of the 3 interceptions, which is why I was like, I don't need to be watching this shit anyway. I got work to do. It was one of those things where I saw one of them, CD was wide open.
Yeah.
But Rush got clipped at the last second, so the ball was a little short, and then ended up being another interception. So like this game was within reach a number of times.
Oh yeah,
but we just couldn't really get over that hump. You know, and it was what was interesting.
Yeah,
that I will give. I see a lot of people in the chat trying to be like, Micah Parsons look normal. Okay, look,
normal.
They were like, he look ordinary. Like I'll say this. Superman sometimes has off days. All right. sometimes Superman is like, you know what? I didn't sunbathe enough. You know, I was in the darkness for a while. I done depleted my solar energy reserves, all that kind of stuff. But also, no matter how good you're talking about, like, LT, Aaron Donald, any of the people that are doing that, there are ways to stop the unstoppable defensive player. Even Deion Sanders had bad games. All right. So like it is what it is. And you're dealing with someone who their entire job is to know the Cowboys inside and out. That is what your division rivals are supposed to do, is they're supposed to know how you operate. So like that being said, part of what makes Micah so goddamn good is the fact that even when he's bad, because of the force that he puts out there, you got to watch shit from every other angle. We still had 4 sacks on Jalen. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that, because you had to double team Micah,
Yeah.
and then here comes somebody else. So I am of the mind that yes, he's not going to be the person that saves the day every time. Sometimes it's fucking Plastic Man. All right. Sometimes Plastic Man is the one that saves the day. It is what it is. They planned for Micah and they said, beat us with somebody else. And they did in certain elements, but not enough to stop the Eagles. The Eagles are the best team in football right now, period. I don't like admitting it, but I have to. They are the best team in football right now.
Sometimes elongated man shows up and not Superman. That's true. But the other part of this too, and you got to look at this in a fair way, because I know we're fans in the chat are going to say what they're going to say, and I respect that. But in a fair way here, Cooper Rush, they got 10 points off those interceptions. And after the half, after that 20-point explosion in the second half, the Eagles only scored 6 points in those back two quarters, the third and fourth quarter.
Yep.
And it was just right after the Cowboys had come close to catching them in the 20-17 at that time in the game. So the defense adjusted, and that's what you want to see. So yeah, you can shut down Micah, but the defense still adjusted, and they held them scoreless. Listen, 3 out of the 4 quarters, they only held them they only got 6 points off of them. They got one, there was one 20-point explosion, 10 of those points off those turnovers. So you got to credit to the Phillies D to put them in that, or the Eagles D to put them in that position. But at the end of the day, the Cowboys gave as good as they got, and they could have squeaked this one out in a surprise victory. So I think we survived three interceptions by our backup quarterback and still had a chance to possibly catch this team late in the game.
But I will tell you this, man. I'm looking at who the Eagles have played. We're the only signature win they have. I know the Vikings are 5-1. They're not 5-1 because the Vikings are dominating. They're 5-1 because they got victories, but on some shaky legs from time to time.
Yeah.
So I'm saying we are the only team of merit, really. I do like what the Lions are doing as well, but their record shows who they are right now.
Yeah.
You literally beat a bunch of teams that aren't there. We are the first one. So this is the signature win right now that proves the Eagles are here. But I'm very curious what you do down the stretch, though, to be honest with you, that now that I'm looking at your schedule,
it is a soft schedule.
You don't play anybody. You play us one more time, and you play the Packers. Everyone else, the Steelers, who knows with them? You know what I'm saying? One day you want to be Brady, and the next day you want to lose to they lost to some whack ass team like a week or two ago. I can't even remember. And they're still trying to figure out what they're doing with their quarterback situation. The Texans, I don't even need to talk about that. Do I need to talk about your sorry ass team again?
No,
I mean, who are y'all playing all the way out? There is no reason that they can't potentially go the rest of the season undefeated. And I'm trying to tell you, I know everybody wants to be that team, to do what the Dolphins did. Ask Brady. You don't want that pressure. I know you want to be in the record books. As Steph Curry, you don't want that pressure. You don't want to be the greatest record team ever, and then you are so tired or so hyped or so anxious, you blow it. So to be honest with you, if I were the Eagles, I would have wished that you had lost last night so you can go, all right, adjustments, nigga, and then you come back and do the damn thing. But good for y'all. Do what you do. Do what you do. I hope you don't lose to the fucking Texans.
Winston's usage of the N-word is his alone and not the
Sorry, the muzzle came off. I couldn't help myself, bro. I got real upset. I got real upset there for a minute.
Anyway, but yeah, I mean, he's right. Winston's right. Look, they get the Steelers, the Texans, the Commanders, the Colts, the Packers in Philadelphia, the Titans, the Giants, though, might be very interesting. They're Ironically enough, the Giants could be the team. They're battling for the division.
Because they beat the Ravens. Bro, the Giants, if I'm not mistaken, were 4th in our division, which means they also have a cupcake-ass schedule, bro. Like, they don't...
bro.
Yeah, okay, and? Okay, they beat the Titans. We have all said we don't know who the fuck the Titans are at this point. They beat the Panthers. We know damn sure well the Panthers ain't terrible. Good. They lost to us. They beat the Bears. But do I really need to respond to this? No. You guys beat the Bears.
I know.
We're not going to talk about this, all right?
It's true. But they have beat the Packers and Ravens back to back.
They beat the Packers, but I think what the Ravens loss actually is a signal of, bro.
Yeah.
I think this is the proof that the Ravens are actually not good this year.
What? But where's our Ravens guy in the chat telling us over and over again that Lamar Jackson is the truth? That Lamar Jackson should get his bag. Lamar Jackson should not get his bag if Daniel Jones is outplaying him in the fourth quarter of a fucking
I
football
agree.
game.
I mean, also in the, like, because that's the thing.
Yeah.
Your wins are against the Jets, which sure they're having a resurgence, but when they started, they weren't good. So
Yeah.
And I still don't think they are. I think they got to prove that they can do this consistently. The Jets.
All right.
You beat the Patriots,
Sorry,
which we've all said the Patriots aren't good.
Yeah,
and you beat the Bengals. That's a division rival. You're expected to be competitive in that. And remember, the Bengals have had a little bit of struggles coming. They've had a little bit of a Super Bowl hangover. So then your losses are to the Giants, which I guess they're good at 5-1, but I just don't believe it yet. I don't know.
Okay.
You lost to the Bills, the best team in the AFC, so you better step up. And you lost to the Dolphins, arguably top 3 team in the AFC as well. I honestly still feel that it's what the Bills, the Chiefs, and the Dolphins right now. So like, I don't know, fam. Like the Baltimore, I don't think is a good team. At 3-3, the losses you've taken, I don't think they're a good team.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. I don't disagree with you because someone pointed out, Connor Pearson Ward pointed out in the chat, the Ravens have given up the most yards of any defense in the NFL so far after 6 weeks in the game. Bro, that's not good.
I have seen this story before. It is the tale as old as time. It's Tony Romo. You know what used to happen to Tony? He would be 3-3 about this point in the season. He would have put up like crazy numbers as an individual, but the defense was letting them get run the fuck over. And Tony can only outgun people so many times. Like there was a game he played Peyton Manning where they both put up 500 plus yards. They both put up 5 touchdowns and they both put up an interception. The difference was the interception from Peyton was in the second quarter going into the half. Right. Romo's happened to be in the final drive of the game, and that it just sucks where it happened. But they played the same, and this is the issue. If the Ravens don't get their defense the fuck together, I don't care how good Lamar Jackson is, they're gonna lose. Lamar Jackson may be the truth, but the Ravens are not good.
Oh, and the other side of this, why would you stay on a team that isn't improving its defense if you're Lamar Jackson? Why would I sign this extension to stay with you when I can go to another team in my prime, ladies and gentlemen? Not Matt Stafford going to the Rams, not Tom Brady going to the Buccaneers. In my prime, guy can go to another team with a better defense and lead that. Imagine Lamar Jackson on the 49ers with that defense. Bro, good God almighty.
If you put Lamar, oh God damn it, please don't let this happen. If Lamar Jackson somehow ends up in San Francisco, I don't think the Niners lose another Super Bowl. I think they just win every Super Bowl as long as Lamar is there. That's terrifying. Why would you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby?
Or Wilson. Well, Wilson is. I think we're seeing Wilson in the Jake Delhomme stage of his career. So we'll see. We'll see for sure. I am Two Fly Cam says Brady is seeing ghosts, ducking in the pocket without anyone touching him. He's cooked. Seahawks going to the playoffs, perhaps. We all know the Cowgirls are trash outside their defense. Lions will beat you, ladies, next week. Wow.
The Lions are gonna beat the Cowboys.
That's what I am Two Fly Cam is saying, that the Lions will beat the Cowboys.
The Lions are gonna beat the Cowboy, the Detroit Lions. Okay.
With Dak coming back.
Okay. Cool. I would love to see it. Wouldn't we love to see it, Jackie?
I would love to. Ronaldo, he says, question for the chat, was that game good for Dak Prescott's chances coming back as a starter? Yeah, I guess we should hit that real quick. I think so, right? It's smooth.
That becomes a layup. The person that has been pissing me off more than anything has been Skip Bayless. Because he's like Cooper Rush. It's a gold rush. He's just out here doing it. He is leading it with Dak Prescott's not good. Dak Prescott's not doing anything. And I'm like, bro, are you really being serious right now? Cooper Rush, yes, he did win us 4 games. Because we're 4-2 now. He won us 4 games. That's amazing. Thank you for that. And I do think he is one of the better backups that we have seen, barring the people that were so good they legitimately became starters.
Yeah.
So Dak, for example, Tom Brady, for example, Tony Romo, for example. Like there's an I always get it backwards because I'm not a huge Niners fan. It was Young replaced Montana, right?
Yes.
So same thing. So you've seen that kind of stuff happen before.
Yeah, true.
But let's go and actually look at Cooper's numbers. This interception game doesn't surprise me. He almost had a 3-interception game the week before. 2 of those interceptions were overturned because of penalties.
You said that on the show 2 weeks ago when that almost happened. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, good point.
So I definitely think that Dak has his job is solidified. I think that made it very easy to do that. You know, I am very happy to keep Cooper Rush, and I hope that he continues to, if we need him to step up. Hopefully we don't need him again, and that's not to be a dick. I just would like for Dak to come in and ball.
Yeah.
I need him to. We paid you a lot of money to do that. I hope you're able to do that.
Well, with the defense that's playing as well as it is right now, hopefully that eases Dak, the pressure on Dak, and Dak can just let go and be himself and trust that his defense is going to step up and help him in those situations. Well, let's move on here. Keep sending in your Streamlabs and SuperChats, ladies and gentlemen. You know we appreciate them. Support the show. Please send them in as we go along here. We got 61 of y'all watching us live right now. Please make sure you hit that like button as well. Let's move on to this this Steelers Bucs game we've been kind of mentioning here throughout the show. Mitchell Trubisky came in off the bench after Kenny Pickett, who had replaced him as a starter, was put in the concussion protocol. He led the Steelers to a game-winning touchdown here, and they got the victory 20-18 over Tom Brady, which is insane because they scored that with 10 minutes left in the game. Brady still couldn't come back and even put the Buccaneers in position to kick a field goal to win the game. The Steelers snap a 4-game losing streak behind 144 yards passing from Trubisky. And remember, that's after he came in the third quarter. So that's that was almost a full output of Jalen Hurts against the Cowboys, 144 yards in a quarter and a half. And that defense somehow put it to Brady. So you look at this situation, the Steelers, as you said, were losing to teams they shouldn't have been losing to a couple of weeks ago. And now you got them stepping up and beating Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. I mean, is this why you risk losing your Brazilian supermodel wife to play in a game like this, to be losing to teams like the Steelers? If I was Tom right now, I would fucking retire and be like, you know what? This ain't worth it. Look at this beautiful woman. I need to go and fucking fix this shit. I've done enough in this game. I need to go fix this shit. You know, so this is crazy. What do you possibly take from this game? Are they in trouble?
What I take from this game is that Brady, instead of leaving with dignity, is going out like Jordan on the Wizards, in the sense that Jordan was still above average. He was still a superstar, which Brady is still technically doing. But Brady ain't looking like Brady. Just like Jordan didn't look like Jordan, he looked like a better than everybody else, but not Michael fucking Jordan.
Yeah.
Tom Brady don't look like Thomas Edward Patrick fucking Brady. He doesn't. He really doesn't. He looks like a dude that's like doing okay.
Yeah.
Is that worth partially tarnishing your legacy?
Yeah.
Losing your family?
Yeah.
And now taking shots, bro? Like, is it worth it?
Yeah.
It doesn't look like it's worth it to me. That looks so. My only guess, if I had to be real, because the truth is, we keep saying it's him running back to do it, and I know that's part of the reports, but we're not in their household.
We don't.
You gotta believe that there were other things at play here that may have been a major catalyst out of the reports coming from their camps. Yeah. But you gotta believe that there are day-to-day stuff, because we've all been in our relationships, and at one point or another, you're like, I just need you to go away for a minute. You know what I'm saying? I have said it to Kristen. Kristen has said it to me. There are times where it's like, I have had a rough day. Will you just go away? Yeah. And it's fine. I get that. So
respect the space.
Maybe instead of running back to football, it felt like Brady was trying to run away from that drama.
Yeah.
It's like, if I'm in the locker room, I can't be in this fight or be frustrated. You know what I'm saying?
Or this, Winston, I'm good at this. I'm not good at this. Like, I'm not good at this relationship stuff. I'm not good at this marriage stuff. This is where I'm most myself. This is where I feel most appreciated. This is where I feel better about who I am as a person. It is here on the football field. So many people, so many of the players in the NFL will talk about when they retire, they miss the locker room. It's not the practices. It's not the two-a-days. It's not even the games sometimes. It's hanging out with your teammates. It's hanging out in the locker room. It's shooting the shit after the practice is done. It's all those things that are camaraderie, and you miss it when you go off and you go get married and you retire and you're not around the guys anymore. It becomes like a big culture shock, and some guys can't handle it. Some guys are desperate to come back to it. And Tom, unretiring the way he did, I think you're right. It feels like the Wizards or Jordan on the Wizards, because Jordan did the same thing. It surprised everybody when he unretired to go play for the Wizards. And it was, as a Wizards fan, it was great and terrible at the same time. And it feels that way now, because if the Bucs don't even make the fucking playoffs, and by the way, they're tied with Atlanta for the division lead. If the Bucs don't even make the playoffs, that is a bad look.
I don't think that they're, I'll be honest, I don't think that that's something they have to worry about.
Really? You don't think they have to worry about making the playoffs?
About missing the playoffs.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, making.
I think they're gonna make the playoffs. I don't. The Falcons haven't done anything to inspire like true faith. I know this win. This is a big win against San Francisco, because San Francisco, we thought we're not going to be good. Like, especially once Trey went down, we didn't know what was going to happen. But San Francisco is balling right now. That's a great win for Atlanta. We'll talk about it in a minute. But I don't have faith in them yet. I could very easily be wrong, but I don't have faith in them. I think that if you're just looking at the patterns we've seen of these four teams, like the last couple of years, but especially this year, the Bucs will win the division. Okay. I just don't think they'll make it out of the first round. I think they'll have the same issue they had last year.
Good point. Because right now at 3-3 in the NFC, right below Dallas, you've got Tampa Bay, San Francisco, the Rams, the Packers, the Falcons, and the Seahawks. Those are all 3-3. Everybody else below them, I don't give any credibility to even remotely challenge anybody else for the playoffs. But the Falcons, you don't know what you have with Mariota at this point. They're 3-3. The Seahawks with Geno Smith, they can certainly ball. Are the Packers going to figure it out? Is Aaron Rodgers going to figure it out? Are the Rams going to figure it out? And are the 49ers going to do enough to sneak in? So there's just a lot of questions here. It's going to make it very interesting to see what teams come out of that middle pack right now at 3-3 to make the playoffs, and what surprising teams don't. It's going to be interesting.
That's wild to see all those teams, man, because all the rest of them, you're right. The Saints, Commanders, Cardinals, Bears, Lions, and Panthers, no faith in a single one of those teams.
Zero.
But any of those 3-3 teams, if they can figure their ish out, the only one that I don't truly feel that confident is Seattle.
Yeah.
Of those 3-3 teams, just because I want Geno to have that resurgence, but like you kind of blew up your team. You know what I'm saying? You still put a professional team out there, but you blew up your team, and you got rid of a lot of superstars. That Legion of Boom doesn't really exist anymore. Yeah. So like, but the rest of them, the Bucs, Niners, Rams, Packers, I said not the Falcons either. So Packers, Rams, Niners, Bucs, any of them. They could at any point have a full-on resurgence and just take over.
Yeah.
I just don't. Brady's got to do better, bro. He's got to do better.
That's true. He can't keep slamming those pads, and he can't keep yelling at teammates, because eventually they're going to tune him out. Because eventually they just go, I don't give a fuck if you have 7 rings, bro. Look at you out there looking like Jeff George running around in the pocket, scared that there are ghosts around every defender. So that can be an issue going down in the next few games. Josh Mabry said Dallas will sadly still have the same result as usual because of the penalties. So undisciplined, and that's coaching. Sitting in the top 5 at the moment of penalties for in the NFL.
How bad was it this game? Because like I said, since I didn't get to watch it, were we highly penalized?
Yeah, it was bad.
I mean, and then that becomes a situation.
I don't trust McCarthy. Go ahead.
That becomes a situation, bro, where we become our own worst enemy, because a lot of the games that we've lost in the McCarthy era have not been because some team outplayed us. We were actually outplaying them. It's just that we would have so many penalties that it's like, oh, it's 3rd and 16. Holy shit, first down. Oh, nope, holding call. Bring that shit back. Oh, man, they got him. What a stop. Nope, pass interference. That doesn't count. They get an automatic first. The number of times I've seen that happen where games unraveled.
Yeah. It's frustrating, isn't it? Yeah. I can totally understand that.
Dude.
All right, let's move on to our next game here. Keep sending in your Streamlabs and SuperChats as we go along, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about the Jets. The Jets, Jets, 27-10. Look, you can understand the Steelers squeaking out a victory in a tight game with the Buccaneers, but this is a convincing destruction of Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. 27-10 in Green Bay. The Jets were wearing cheese heads after the game to fuck with the fans. That's the kind of swagger you got from this young New York Jets team here. Breece Hall did an incredible job running for 116 yards, including a 34-yard touchdown. Quinnen Williams had 2 of New York's 4 sacks against Aaron Rodgers, and the Jets have won 3 straight. Put that on the table right now. 3 straight. I think I was in diapers the last time the Jets won 3 games in a row. This was insane to look at this, but damn, Salah said earlier in the year, I'm going to keep receipts. You motherfuckers talking shit about my team. I'm going to keep receipts. And everybody laughed at him. Well, shit, the tax collector might come due here by the end of this season, and the Jets could be a surprising, because I don't trust the Patriots right now with Mac Jones. I kind of look at the Jets and be like, well, maybe they're the team that slide out of the AFC East here and sneak into the playoffs.
I mean, yeah. Yeah. You're talking about it. You're talking about it as like a wild card.
Maybe
used cars.
Well, no, you're not. You got to remember, the Jets are in the same division as the Bills. They're not winning the division.
Oh, fair, wild card. Fair enough. Wild card. Yeah.
They like, but I still trust the Dolphins more than I do the Jets. Well, maybe not. You killed your quarterback. Maybe not. I don't know.
Every single one of your quarterbacks gets knocked out every game. I don't think the Dolphins at this point. The coach is going to be playing quarterback by the end of the
year. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's the one thing that I keep forgetting is that. So wait, is that what happened with the Dolphins game? You lost another. Yes. You lost another fucking quarterback.
Yes, they were back to the 7th round choice. Who was playing quarterback?
Bro, okay. Then I take back what I said. Then I think I had put the Dolphins up there. I think I gotta run that back, because did we ever hear a conclusion with Tua? Is he back with the team? Nothing. We haven't heard anything yet.
Nope.
Okay.
They haven't made a decision.
Okay. Yeah, man. I maybe it's the Jets. The Jets might be the only other team coming out of the AFC East then. But it's the Bills. The Bills will win the division. We don't need to worry about that. But the Jets may be a wild card just because the other AFC divisions look to be in a little bit of disarray.
Yeah. No, I think the Jets have a real chance at this point. I mean, you look at the victories that they've got here. They've won 3 in a row here. They did beat a Steelers team 24-20, but they beat the Dolphins 40-17. They beat the Packers 27-10. Here's the deal. They have not scored below 24 points in any of their games, including when they when they lost to the Ravens. They scored in their victories, rather. They score if they get above 24 points, they win the game. So that says something to me. They have a couple ugly losses to the Ravens, 24-9, and to the Bengals, who are still figuring out who they were, 27-12. So maybe this is a victory that finally the Jets go, you know what? We fucking believe we can do this shit. Let's put it together. Let's get some W's here, because they won 3 in a row.
How did the Packers get so bad?
They have no receivers, dude. He can't throw to anybody.
I guess so.
He ain't Tom Brady. Tom Brady can make Chris Hogan a fucking all-star. Aaron Rodgers ain't the same way. He's not.
He's just, I think with that, man, I think he's just truly aging. I think there's something. I know Brady is older than him.
Right.
But there is something to be said about what has made Brady so great is he somehow found the fountain of youth.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So he can continuously do what he always did. Aaron is still, I mean, he still threw for 246 and a touchdown, no interceptions. You know what I'm saying? But like, wild, bro. I don't know. Like to have that much of a performance through the air. I think part of what doesn't help is you're supposed to have that 2-headed monster in Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon, and they can only put up 60 yards on the ground. Like they've got to step their game up. I don't know what the hell was going on there. And I know the Jets defense is good, but Aaron Jones has been a premier back for a minute. Like you can't find a way, bro. Like shit.
And it isn't like Zach Wilson was tearing it up. He only threw for 110 yards. That's it.
He threw the ball 18 times.
18 times. It was all
I know Bryce, but what that is, Bryce Hall is a fucking stud, bro.
Yeah, he is. Absolutely.
Oh,
He is absolutely a stud. It's going to be very interesting. And the Jets have a habit over the last few years of getting those running backs. I mean, I don't know how many times Jets running backs that I picked up off the waiver wire have saved me late in a fantasy season because fuck it, there's like hitting the ball and they're getting 125 yards a game and 2 touchdowns. It's incredible how you see that happening. But Brees is fantastic. So shout out to the Jets. I love the Jets. So as the lovable underdogs, so let them keep winning. Let's see what happens. And if Saleh does turn this team around, they're going to pay that dude through the nose to keep coaching the Jets for sure. All right, let's see if I've got any more Streamlabs that have come through. Oh, yes, Theral_unfiction says, Bama USC lost in college there in the big leagues. There were so many upsets. We lost $80 million in credit so far. So my predictions are Chargers and Yankees win tonight, which means the Chargers and the Yankees might lose tonight. It seems like if you've lost $80 million in credit. So shout out to you, Theral. All right, let's keep going here to the next game, and that is the Giants. We talked about that a little bit. Do we need to say anything more? Saquon Barkley basically leading this team. Daniel Jones didn't do too much in terms of being the quarterback there, but in the end, the Giants outplayed them in the fourth quarter. Should we go even further into the Ravens situation, or we think we touched upon it?
I mean, I think it's as simple as this. Just as far as the number, like this just goes to show that, like what I'm saying, this is purely on the Ravens defense.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson, 210 yards and a touchdown. He did have an interception, but fine. Yeah. But then on the ground, Kenyon Drake, 119 yards and a touchdown. Lamar himself, over 7 carries, 77 yards. Like, you had a total of 211 on the ground.
Yeah.
As well as 195 in the air and a touchdown, and you can't finish with that. That is purely the defense falling apart. Like, that is so bad. Like,
it's crazy if you look at the numbers here, because you're right, Winston. Lamar Jackson, 210 yards. Kenyon Drake got 119 yards and a touchdown rushing. Mark Andrews had 106 yards receiving. Nobody above the Giants, nobody on the Giants team got above 38 yards receiving. Saquon didn't even break 100. And Daniel Jones had 173 yards. So when you look at the numbers, the Ravens should have absolutely won this game. But somehow the Giants pulled this thing out.
Which is why I see Ronaldo saying the Giants are a threat this year. Are they? Because, like, I know they're 5-1, but we ran down the list of who they played.
Yeah.
They are 4th in the division. They got 4th, right? You all got 3rd?
Yeah. What right now? We're in last place.
Last year.
Last year. Yes. They were last. Yeah.
So they were 4th, which means, again, for those that aren't familiar with the scheduling system, there's a few things at play here. You have the one random game because they added a game. I don't really know what the rules are for that. They didn't clarify that, but you play your division rivals twice.
Yeah.
One at home, one away. You play a AFC division. It rotates. So you only play typically a lot of those AFC teams once every 4 years, with the exception of that random game now. You rotate the other 3 divisions in the NFC or the AFC, depending on which side you're on.
Yeah.
And then finally, you play whatever team in your conference that was the same place. So if you were first place last year, you got to play all the other first place teams in your conference.
Yeah.
So for the Giants, 3 of those games are against the other 3 worst teams in the league last year. They have a cupcake ass fucking schedule.
Yeah.
So I just the Ravens, this points to their defense. You look at those offensive numbers and their defense is not good.
Yeah, you look, I mean, they collapsed against Miami. Then they blew that 17-point lead against Buffalo, with Lamar Jackson giving Buffalo that interception to lead him to that game-winning field goal. So you look at the situation, same thing here. They seem to be in a position to win this game, and they lost it. As you said, that defense just keeps letting Lamar down.
I get it. Matt says Lamar's pick is literally what cost the Ravens the lead. Yeah, sure. I get that. But you know what else cost them the game? The Ravens not holding it down. I say this all the time when people like to come for Romo back in the day. They're like, well, Romo's final interception ruined it. I'm like, sure. Yes. That one interception is bad. It's really bad. That is not the moment that you need. If you're going to do that, that was not it, bro.
Yeah.
At the same time, this is a team sport, and you had, 60 minutes like on game clock to figure all this shit out, and you're telling me that the Ravens defense couldn't stop the Giants? Daniel Jones is not good. Like, what are we talking about here?
You're not wrong, brother, man. You're not wrong. That's what's crazy about this whole thing. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with the Giants, and we'll see what happens with the Ravens. Because, I mean, the Ravens have now the Browns, the Buccaneers, the Saints, the Panthers, the Jags, the Broncos, the Steelers. So not unwinnable games, but certainly games that are going to test you as a team. The Giants, when you look at the rest of the schedule, they're at the Jaguars. That should be a victory because Jaguars can't beat anybody in the NFC East. Then they got the Seahawks. You don't know what do you have in Geno Smith, Texans, Lions, Cowboys, Buccaneers, Eagles, Commanders, Vikings, Colts. There's not a really good team left on their schedule aside from Dallas. When you get down to the
Eagles again, right?
Yeah, they got to play the Eagles. That's right, twice. So those are the two teams within their division.
I would argue for the Giants looking at their thing. They're dangerous in that they have a high probability of making the playoffs. But I'm not scared. Well, I know. But again, the only two teams that like kind of look like I'll give them straight up L's are us and the Eagles. And then, even though I said I don't trust the Vikings, they got to play the Eagles twice. So I see 3 L's there, and maybe one more from the Vikings. But if you win the rest of them, you could very easily get a wild card. That's only a 12-5.
Yeah,
that's a pretty damn good record, you know.
It is. And I'm gonna knock on wood now, but we've seen what happens to the Giants when Daniel Jones gets knocked out. Daniel Jones not a great quarterback, in my opinion. But when he gets knocked out, the Giants are even worse. Look at what's happening with Miami without Tua. They are lost. Even with someone capable like Teddy Bridgewater back behind center, they still can't get the job done. So to me, that is going to matter. And Daniel has been hurt numerous times over the last few years. So that's not something you can discount here in this situation. So we shall see what happens with the Giants going forward. All right, let's get to our last game here. This one's the Vikings here. As we said, talk about the Dolphins here. The Vikings went to 5-1. They defeated the Dolphins 24-16. Miami rookie quarterback Skylar Thompson left in the game with a thumb injury. Then Teddy Bridgewater came in for Thompson, but could not pull off the win. And Miami lost his 3rd game in a row after starting 3-0. Consequently, after they lost Tua. Now the Vikings are 5-1 and in first place in the NFC North, which is crazy to even consider with this situation. And so what do you take away from this one, man? I mean, do you give credit to the Vikings being 5-1? The new coach coming in, has he figured out how to take advantage of Cousins' physical attributes and offensive-minded instincts and reduced his ability to make stupid mistakes and boneheaded interceptions at critical times to get at the 5-1, or is this a mirage and the Vikings aren't as good as people think?
It's hard to say, man. Honestly, I know that sounds weird. It's genuinely hard to say what's going on here. I mean, I look at it. A lot of it is just Justin Jefferson.
Yes.
6 receptions, 107. Right. Like, you know what I'm saying? He was averaging 17.8 per reception.
Right.
Like, he literally he threw for 175. He accounted for 107 of his 175 yards.
Yeah.
And then the next best option was Adam Thielen with 4 receptions at 36. So, like, I don't know, bro. I like Dalvin Cook. I took him this year. He's been okay. He hasn't been great. He's actually got me in trouble a couple of times. It's grateful that I had other pieces to kind of help balance some stuff out. Yeah. But yeah, I think the thing that's just really sad here is the Dolphins have just kind of fallen off of a little bit of a cliff.
Yeah.
Without Tua. I love Teddy Bridgewater, but he was never the same after that knee injury in Minnesota.
Consequently, playing for the Vikings. Yeah, good point.
It just never was the same. So, you know, I wish the Vikings all the best, man. You with the 5-1 record, you control your fate. The rest of the teams in your division are not doing good, especially the Packers. And if there was ever a time to really stick it to Aaron, this is it, bro. Yeah. Like 5-1 start. Like what's the rest of their schedule look like?
Well, they beat the Packers earlier in the year, the first game of the season, 23-7. But they have the Cardinals next. Then the Commanders, they're going to kick our asses. They're at Buffalo, so that's going to be a tough test. Then they play the Patriots, the Jets. They're at Detroit, the Colts, the Giants, at Green Bay, and then at Chicago. 12-5 is not out of the possibility.
Shit. Like the only 2 L's. The only one true L I'll give them is the Bills.
Yeah,
I want to say that we'll beat them. I want to have faith that we'll beat them. I'm a little down on us right now, but I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. So then let's call it 2. I don't see another L. And then the Giants will be interesting.
Yeah.
Or not the Giants. I mean the Jets. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The Jets will be interesting.
Mm.
I guess the Giants could be interesting, but I just said that I don't trust Daniel Jones. It's weird. It's a weird.
I don't think it's going to be
say,
quarterback by that week.
If you notice, they have a lot of we got some tender hot best adult dating
Oh,
sites
no.
in the
Oh, no,
building.
they
What's
showed
up? If you asked me which team I trusted more, I would trust the Vikings over the Giants, but I see a lot of similarities. I feel like Daniel Jones and Kirk Cousins are about the same. Think Dalvin Cook and Barkley are about the same, but Barkley is having a better year. But as far as just like 1 minute you're destroying everybody, and the next minute I'm like, you good, bro? Barkley's having that resurgent year right now, so I trust him more. But who is Daniel Jones throwing to? Justin Jefferson, we just said, is a goddamn stud.
Yeah.
So like I trust the Vikings to actually take that dub over the Giants. That's Christmas Eve too. Oh fuck, I forgot. Someone told me we got to play the fucking Eagles again on Christmas Eve. That's the last thing I want. That is the last thing I fucking want, because God help us if they're still as good as they are now and we can't figure out how to fix the problem. And then I got to get fly Eagles fly, Merry Christmas, bitch. Like, I don't want that shit. Oh,
we're gonna have to do a Christmas version of Game Time. Oh my!
I don't want
to. Yeah, it'll be interesting. I agree. I mean, this could be fun with the Bills game. That Bills game could be frisky, but it's in Buffalo, so I can't imagine that they'll win that. But the Patriots are at home. The Dallas Cowboys game is at home. The Jets is at home. So that's a good advantage for Minnesota in those games. So we'll see. And the Giants game's at home as well. So that could end up being the difference for that team in getting them into a good position heading into possibly the playoffs. There in their division. All right, let's see if I've got any more Streamlabs super chats before we get into the best of the rest here and preview the Monday Night Football game. Let me take a look here. What we got? We got something? We got anything? Oh, it's doing a little circle spin. So maybe it's taking a little bit of time.
I got you. So best of the rest. Mariota. His 3 touchdowns for the Falcons to beat the Niners. We mentioned that. The Patriots buried the Browns, and Belichick ties Hollis for his 324th win. Is that the most by a coach ever?
Yes.
Wow, good for him. Walker runs for a key touchdown, and the Saints beat the Cardinals 19-9.
Seahawks, yeah.
Sorry, what did I say?
Saints.
Yeah, I meant the Seahawks. The S words. Ryan and Matt Ryan and Alan Pierce woke up in the final minute. The Colts beat the Jags 34-27.
Watch out.
Saints. The Saints offense stalled out in New Orleans, and they lost. They lost late. Who they lose to, John?
The Saints?
Yeah,
they lost to a big team, man. It was a big deal.
Yeah,
it was the Cincinnati Bengals. It was Joe Burrow.
Okay,
you didn't
write it in. You didn't write in the breakdown. So I was like, I don't know who the fuck they played, John. Like, what do you mean? Like, I'm just reading your breakdown, and I don't even fucking know. The Rams rallied in the second half to beat Wilkes and the Panthers 24-10, and a muffed punt by the Robinson touchdown lifted the Commanders over the Bears 12-7. I want to take a wild guess at what game you want to talk about, but which one of these titillized you, Mr. Rocha?
I gotta say the Colts. I'm gonna put this on the table right now. Matt Ryan is crazy to me, and I don't understand this son of a bitch. I really don't. Matty Ice has been one of the most confounding and perplexing quarterbacks in the NFL, and obviously you want to hang that 28-3 loss. I don't think it's on him. I think that's on Shanahan calling some really aggressive, stupid plays when they were up by so much. But in the end, he takes that loss, Matty Ice does. And so ever since then, he hasn't quite been able to recapture that form. He's been stuck on a shitty Atlanta team. Here he goes to the Colts, and he looked shaky. He looked shaky throughout the whole season, but here he is leading them against the Jags, a little revenge action. And also, I got a feeling that Matty is going to figure this out before the end of the season, and the Colts are going to sneak in there as a wild card. I don't know what damage they're going to do in the playoffs, but I just have a feeling that Matty is slowly figuring things out in Indianapolis, figuring out who he's got on his team. I don't see a repeat of the Phillip Rivers or the Carson Wentz situation. I think Matty has that little bit of extra how can I say this? A little bit of extra motivation and experience to get the Colts into the right position. And they've got some good running backs. They got a good defense. They got some good receivers. There's no reason they shouldn't be doing better than they are. And sometimes teams take a while to figure themselves out with a new quarterback. And I think this victory here is a sign that it's trending upward for the Colts.
I didn't really love Matty Ice prior because he was on the Falcons, and the Saints being one of my favorite teams just from, connections from like friends and stuff like that. Like I became a big fan of the Saints.
Yeah.
But I feel like that 28-3, as much as it was funny to laugh about that at being anti-Falcons, I feel bad for him of how dirty he was done with this whole Deshaun Watson situation.
Oh, yeah.
So I won't lie. There is a small part of me that if Matty shakes all the demons and goes and wins the chip and then is out here being like, suck it, bitches, I would kind of be here for it.
Dude,
You know
if the Colts are the team with the Chiefs and the Bills and all these other teams,
they somehow be the ones that goes to the Super Bowls, bro. That would be fucking crazy. The only situation where I would not be okay with that happening is if they met the Cowboys in the Super Bowl. Then Matty Ice can go fuck himself. But otherwise, nothing would make me happier than to see this dude look at all the haters and go, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You're cool. Fuck you. I'm out. Like that would be dope as shit. So. Yeah. Interesting. The one I wanted to talk about, man, I think.
Can I let me throw one more thing in here.
Yeah. Go.
42 of 58. Motherfucker threw the ball almost 60 times in this game for 389 yards and 3 touchdowns. No sacks, no turnovers. That speaks volumes of the way he played this game. And he broke Indianapolis's single game record for completions. That includes Peyton Manning and Andrew Luck. He broke their records for Indianapolis for single game record for completions and moved into the 7th on the NFL's all-time career passing list. So the guy can still do it. Will it be enough? Will it be crazy? And wouldn't it be ironic that if he leads the Colts to the Super Bowl against Tom Brady's Bucs and beats Tom Brady, exercises the demons, tells everybody to suck it and retires on the field? That's how you do it. Anyway, let's move on. What were you saying?
The game I wanted to talk about has to be the most interesting game and probably what I will be doing Sports Victims Unit on this week.
Interesting. Let's do it.
Yo, shitty ass team beat the Bears, bro. How the fuck is that game so bad? How are y'all both so bad that on Thursday night, everybody's like, why am I watching this shit? People turned that shit off and they were watching fucking Celebrity Wheel of Fortune instead, bro. Like that game was awful. What the hell?
It was awful. I only watched the game to text Ellis because Ellis will text me and I'm like, fuck, I'm not watching it. I should go watch it because he wants a response. So I stayed on. I was working on shit. I was editing videos and working on shit while I was watching the game on the TV there, sitting in my couch. And I was like, this is a debacle. I mean, as terrible as the Commanders have been this season, this was even worse to play the Bears team this tight at home. And then these motherfuckers were shameless in celebrating the victory. The last thing I'd want to do is to be jumping up and down in the locker room that we won the game against the shitty Bears with Justin Fields. I mean, it was insane. This is how low my franchise has fallen.
Bro.
And if you've seen the pictures of Dan Snyder looks like they let him out of a mental ward to come and watch the game with a couple of the orderlies, the black orderlies sitting on opposite sides of him. If you see that picture of him in his owner's box, he's like lost. He's like, he's completely, all the pressure is getting to him. All these reports are coming out. He's turning into Trump now, saying how he's got information on all the owners. That was the report on ESPN. So, like, this is just a shithole of a franchise right now with that asshole in charge.
It really is. One spam came back, but like, just to throw some numbers at you, collectively, the total passing yardage between Wentz and Fields, 289 yards, bro. Between the two of them. Do you want to take a wild guess how much Wentz had?
I think he had like 77 yards. How much?
99 yards.
99 yards passing. Carson Wentz. We traded draft picks.
And your average QBR between the two of them, 25.2, bro. Like Justin Fields had 28.1 and Wentz had 22.3. Like, Holy God. This was so bad.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So, I don't know. When you get Chase Young back?
It doesn't matter.
No, I'm dead serious. When you get him back?
I don't know, man. Later on in the season.
If
I
you
don't
get
know.
Chase Young back, you guys could at least be competitive.
Oh, come on.
I think he's enough of a disruptor. If he comes back fully healthy, you could at least be competitive. I don't think you're going to do anything, but you could ruin people's playoff chances. You know what I'm saying? You could like really screw up somebody's home field advantage. Like I feel like y'all could go out on a high note with something like that. Like this is bad, bro. This is real bad.
This is what Ron Rivera said when asked about it a couple of days ago about Chase Young. Well, I know he still has to see Dr. Andrews one more time. By the way, Dr. Andrews, is there no one else in the fucking world that can do what Dr. Andrews do? Because it's amazing how many people go to Dr. Andrews, and there's apparently no one else on the planet that can do what he does. He's a fucking Doctor Strange of the NFL. It's insane. Anyway, he says, well, what?
I mean, like shit, look, I'm gonna tell you right now. If I'm trying to figure out who's trying to kill me, you know who I'm calling? One of two people.
Yeah.
Sherlock Holmes and Batman. All right. Like that's pretty simple. The two greatest detectives that have ever lived. If I'm trying to figure out who's trying to get me murdered, one of the two of them. And most likely I'm going with Batman because that motherfucker has technology on his side. So and he can actually fight.
But not Zack Snyder Batman, because he didn't know that Clark's mom was Martha. But anyway, yes, go ahead.
Why did you say that name? I'm talking about Snyder. I don't care that you said Martha. Why did you say Snyder?
Well, Rivera said, well, I know he still has to see Dr. Andrews one more time. And once that happens, then we'll know for sure when we can start this clock. He says, I think it's going to happen early coming up. So I don't know if this week is doable yet. But if it is doable, what we'll do is we'll start his clock and get him out on the field a lot like we did with Brian Robinson Jr., of course, came back after he was carjacked and shot. And he had a really good game against these Bears. But I won't know until that appointment. In fact, we have a 3:00 with their head athletic trainer, and they will have the updated injury reports at the time. So it's not for a long time, dude.
You're not gonna just run over that. Someone got carjacked and shot, and they put him back in the game.
Brian Robinson Jr. Yeah, he was healing from it and came back. His first game back in the season was against the Bears, and he got the ball, was running well, all that stuff. Yeah, you didn't know he got shot? Oh yeah,
no,
yeah. It was 40. He scored. It was 46 days after he sustained multiple gunshot wounds. When he was shot. Well, let me turn this down. Problem. Jesus Christ. He was shot on. This was back in August 28th. He was shot as a victim in an attempted robbery or carjacking in Washington D.C. And that's where he went to the hospital. They flew him to the hospital. And that's where he was for a while, and then he was recovering slowly but surely. And this was all over the last couple of months, and then finally he came back to play for us, and he had a touchdown, and he had like 61 yards rushing. So,
good Lord, dude.
Yeah. I mean, it ain't Paul Pierce getting stabbed, but getting shot is pretty rough in that situation.
Right.
That's why I don't go into DC, dog. I don't go into DC even when I visit home. And we'll see if Tyler Henneke comes in now, because Carson Wentz apparently injured his finger in a throwing motion and hit a helmet. So
he's out 4 to 6. It sounds like.
Yeah. So maybe the gods are good and he's out for a while, and we'll see what we have with Henneke.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The report is 4 to 6.
Oh, they've reported it already. I didn't see that.
Sounds like.
Oh,
yeah.
All right. Well, there you go.
He's having surgery in LA on his finger.
Of course, in LA. Come on by, Carson.
Why? So that you can break the rest of them because you're mad? Yo, dude. Keep your ass in San Diego. All right. I put your business out there right now so that you don't get your ass arrested. To keep your ass in San Diego, you leave for the rest of his fingers alone.
I'll pull a Joe Pesci in Casino, man. I'm just gonna hit the vice. The other game I think we should talk about, Winston, is this Cardinals game. I mean, they lost 19-9 to the Seahawks. Kyler Murray played the whole game. There was no injury to Kyler Murray. He wasn't replaced. There was no concussion protocol. He played the whole fucking game. They got 9 points against the Seahawks. I mean, are we done with the Cliff Kingsbury, Kyler Murray situation? They paid him a shit ton of money, and this is the return at 2-4.
I heard that new Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 is dope. I don't know what to tell you, bro. I heard that new Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 is dope. Like my guy out here in the streets, scary games are on the rise. Halloween. I bet those are pretty fun. I just look, man.
Yes.
I heard Call of Duty's dope. I got nothing, bro. I got nothing. Like Tyler's got to do this. I don't know.
Yeah.
You can't have a 21.9 QBR rating. I know it's a division rival, but the Seahawks are also they're not very good. You were both 2-3 coming into this.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it was a pretty pretty equal playing ground.
It's true.
Like Jesus, man. Now props on Walker. I'm pissed. I tried to pick him up in all 3 of my leagues. I like once what's his name went down.
Yeah, Rashad Penny. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was too late. I was doing too well in one and didn't bid well enough in the other 2, and so I didn't get him. And look at it. He put up damn near 100 yards in a titty. So damn it. Yeah. So look, man, I think the Seahawks are scary good.
I think they're deceptively good. I agree with you. They're 3-3. That team can ball.
Scary, deceptive is the better word. I mean, scary, not scary as I'm like, oh my God, we can never beat them. I mean, in the way that like you look at them and it looks like that dude that is like very unimposing, and then all of a sudden does a full roundhouse kick to your jaw, and you're like, where the hell did that come from?
Yeah.
They're
like if Alex Marzonia kicked your ass, you'd be like, wow, did that happen?
It'd literally be if you walk up to Marzonia and you're like, I ain't worried about it. The minute you turn around, boom, he broke your nose. And you're like, wait.
What happened?
How did this happen? So I don't know, man. I don't think they're good enough to go deep in the playoffs. I think they're good enough to be a mad disruptor and to potentially usurp like the I feel like the Niners are obviously the best team in that division. I would not be surprised if they out of nowhere just snatch the day. Oh no, you still got the Rams.
Well, but the Rams are 3-3 as well. So they're tied with Seattle in terms of.
But you look, man, the Rams, I know they're not doing great right now, but the Rams are still the Super Bowl champs. The Rams still have Aaron Donald. The Rams still have Cooper Kupp. They'll be fine. I don't think they're gonna win the Super Bowl again. I don't even think we're getting close. As a matter of fact, every time that stupid ass commercial for them teaming up with ABC7 out here being like, whose house is it? All of this week, I said Cowboys house. It is the Cowboys house. We came in and we dominated Joe ass. They were like, we're gonna do it again. I was like, no, you're not. You're not gonna do it. Kristen gets mad at me because they keep playing that commercial on repeat, and I keep responding to everything they say. Like, no, you're not. You suck. You're terrible. You're not gonna do it. You're doing so bad right now. Yo, but how do you feel, Mr. Padres? Out here usurping the Dodgers.
I'm a Dodgers fan, so this was rough. I mean, I'm a Dodgers and Yankees fan. Both my teams can get knocked out within 2 or 3 days. It's crazy. I was envisioning a Yankees Dodgers World Series, and it could be Padres in the fucking Stros, which is so boring.
Yeah, well, I if that happens, I really hope the Padres just need to just win it all now. Braves are out, Dodgers are out, Yankees are out, bro. Just let the Padres just take it all, son. Like, did you see that they were popping champagne like they won the World Series after beating the Dodgers?
Yes. Do you know, I talked to so many Padres fans because there's a great little
There
bar.
are a lot of Padres fans?
There are a lot of Padres fans. It's a smaller stadium, so it feels like a lot. But like, I was talking to a few of them because we have a bar that's close to us, and sometimes Lily and I will go get dinner or whatever. And we were hanging out with them over the weekend last weekend. All of them to a person were like, we just hope we get a game. We just hope we get one game and whatever. Like, they're going to kill us. But like the fact that we even qualified, we got in there with a high price payroll and blah, blah, blah. You know, we had that guy go out for fucking drug abuse or the PED abuse. I can't believe that they absolutely handed the Dodgers their asses with the pitching, with the money. And that comes back to Dave Roberts, the coach, the manager of the Dodgers. That motherfucker's got to go. They have had an incredible roster, incredible amount of money. They can't find the right manager to take them to the next level. It's insane how they can't win World Series with all those fucking money, all those players, rather. It's insane.
I mean, shit.
And my Yanks aren't dead yet. They're playing tonight against Cleveland. We'll see what happens.
No. They're not gone yet. It just, my mind is blown, truthfully, that this is where we've landed at this point. That this is because what you guys are 2-2, so next game
Yeah.
calls it
Next game wins. Yeah.
between Cleveland. Can't believe I didn't realize. Someone was telling me that the Astros game went on to what
18
19 innings,
18 innings.
18 innings, whatever the fuck. That's crazy. Ended up being 1-0. After all that, it was 1-0. Jesus. I was hoping it was like a shootout, bro. It was like, no, it's 20-20 in the middle of the 19th inning. Shit.
Yeah.
I just no. I'm just really surprised that the Braves got handled like they did against the Phillies. I definitely thought the Braves were going to make a little bit more noise.
No
But
shit.
I'm genuinely, truly shocked that the Padres did what they did. That's wild, bro.
I think it'll be
absolutely
more
wild.
shocking that the Padres did what they did to the Dodgers than if the Cleveland Guardians beat us tonight. I think the Padres upset is more of an upset than us losing to the Guardians. I just think there's more of an upset there.
So here's my question: Who do you have in the NLCS? You got Philly or San Diego?
I think the Phillies are going to stomp the Padres into pieces. There's something about the Phillies, the way they're playing right now, and the belief they have in themselves. The swagger that was not there with the Dodgers. The Dodgers were playing scared, pressure. The Phillies are swaggering, and if they and I think the Padres are going to feel themselves a little bit. But I just think the Phillies eventually are going to overcome them or succumb them down and take them out. And I think it'll be, if the Guardians get in there, I think the Stros are going to sweep them. No lie. The Stros are a fucking, like right now, I'm all worried that we're going to win because I think the Astros are going to kick the shit out of us, which scares the shit out of me personally. So it's going to be, I think it's Phillies Astros in the series. That's what I think.
Okay. Well, I am pulling for the Padres. That is now, I don't really give two shits about baseball. I care about the Rangers, so I check in how they're doing, and they're never good anymore. Like they blew those World Series, and I'm afraid that might have been our own. We are essentially, and maybe this is karma. The Rangers are essentially the Buffalo Bills of baseball.
Wow.
Just back to back World Series appearances and then blowing it. And like remember the one game, there was one Bills game in the Super Bowl that they lost by like a lot, right? It was like 50 something to like 3, something like that. That was we had one of those World Series where we won one game, but we were getting the brakes beat off of us.
Yeah.
But then there was a couple other World Series where we were just out here like, we are right there, and then dropped it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we oh man. So I have no more horse in this race. Fuck the Astros for all that cheating because they still didn't take, ownership of it truly. So if I'm pulling for anybody, bro, let's go Padres. Like, fuck it. I'll drive down to San Diego for a parade. I don't care. Hey, live game time. And John's out on the street, bro. We out on the street. All of a sudden, I got a Padres tattoo. Oh, shit, I always been here. I always knew we would do it.
It's game time, game day. We're out there live with the best set. It's the whole nine. Let's do it. ABash 34 at 384112 says, do you think the Panthers will have a fire sale? Yeah, earlier this week, Winston, it came out that the Panthers were shopping McCaffrey. Holy shit. So do you think they'll absolutely, now with Rule gone, they're just going to start tearing it all down and rebuilding it over the next few years?
I think they should, man, because you got to, like, here's the thing. McCaffrey, to be honest with you, because of how injured he already is, and that 1 year that you had him where he wasn't like he was the best player in football, but it's because you also made him run the ball like 35, 40 times a game. You ran that man ragged. So, like, if there is anything left in the tank, I think it is smart to go ahead and try and get everything that you can out of him. And that would potentially be in picks and whatnot. But I'm very curious, like, what he would actually be worth as far as,
good question,
because of the injuries, people might be like, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Because this is he came in 2017. So this is his 5th year.
Yeah. 5th year. Yeah. In the league. Yeah.
And he has not been able to stay on the field. Like, you get everything you can, because you don't have anything in place right now that you guys are going to do anything. So get everything that you can for him.
Can the Bills? I mean, if the Bills go get McCaffrey,
you need to send McCaffrey to a team where yes, he's the premier back, but he's not the premier back. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
You need to give him, you need to put him in an Aaron Jones, AJ Dillon situation.
Okay.
So give me, maybe, God, you sent him to the Rams?
Oof.
The Ram, like, bro,
That's
imagine McCaffrey over with the Rams, allowed to do McCaffrey-like things, and then you kind of take a little bit of that pressure off of Akers because Akers hasn't been consistent.
Yeah.
Bro, that two-headed back system would be terrifying. And
point.
now you actually have a competent other receiving threat outside of Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
And then God help you if you do re-sign OBJ if he's healthy at the end of the year. Holy shit. I take back what I said. If they get McCaffrey and they re-sign OBJ, holy God, the Rams could very easily just trounce everybody. Even with the wild card position, they could trounce everybody.
Well, listen, let me throw this out to you. I mean, the Bills have also been sniffing around OBJ. I mean, OBJ and Stephon Diggs with that Gabriel Davis.
Well,
that's a three-headed monster.
If that happens, they're already the favorite, but we might as well just call it, bro. Don't even bother playing the games. You saw what happened when OBJ, because I gotta give some. I constantly yell about how Skip Bayless is annoying as hell. We got spam again, but But the one thing he said, which is kind of true, OBJ is still a superstar receiver, but I think he's at that position now in his career. I don't really see him as a 1A anymore. He's a 1B, but he is the most dangerous 1B. Like, it reminds me of when Roddy White and Julio Jones were the duo, and Roddy White was a monster in and of himself. But then when Julio came into his own, Roddy kind of took that step back, but was still crazy scary. If you've got Stephon Diggs or Cooper Kupp, and we saw that already, if you got either one of them as your main threat, but OBJ is now in single coverage, are you kidding me? Oh my God.
And here's another part of this with Buffalo too. Look, McCaffrey's only owed 1.04 million this year. That's it. So any team can swallow that, but he's on the hook for 30. You're on the hook for 36.2 million from 2023 to 2025, including $12 million next year. So there's where the money starts to become an issue, because right now you can take him no problem, but the other subsequent years are going to be the issue. This is where USA Today says the Broncos, the Chiefs. Oh, the Chiefs could be real interesting.
Holy God.
The Rams.
Wait, for OBJ or for McCaffrey?
No, for McCaffrey. Yeah.
Bro, do not. Okay. I'll be honest with you. Whoever ultimately lands McCaffrey and or OBJ become, if it's to a contender, they become the odds-on favorite to win it all. You know what I'm saying? So, again, if you end up in a situation where McCaffrey ends up with the Chiefs, are you shitting me? You've got Kelsey, Mahomes, and McCaffrey at a position where, again, he does not have to be the centerpiece. He now comes in with all of his talent, and it's just like all right, dude, just stay healthy and do a couple and then that's it, bro. Good Lord.
That's how do you replace Tyreek Hill? You get Christian McCaffrey.
Oh,
I mean, that's absolute. If I'm the owner of the Chiefs, after we just lost to Buffalo at home with the acquisitions that they made, I got to make moves on the chessboard. And I'm looking at McCaffrey and I'm thinking to myself, you know what? 32 million. I'll figure that out in the next couple of years. But for 1 million, and this guy could help us beat the Bills in the playoffs, and we can counter their moves. That's my move right there. But if I'm the Bills, I'm absolutely signing OBJ and McCaffrey if I can. Absolutely.
Do you see that breaking right now that it looks like the Titans and Nashville have agreed to build a dome stadium for $2.2 billion.
What for? The Titans aren't even winning. What for? For fuck's sake. I mean,
to lock down the team, to make sure they stay in the city. Don't do this. You ain't wrong, but like, damn. Don't take that from them. Shit, bro.
Dome stadium ain't gonna help Tannehill throw touchdowns anymore. Those days are over. Miami would, I think, if Tua was quarterbacking or maybe quarterback late, that could be an interesting situation. The 49ers could be very, very interesting considering how many running backs have gone down to injury. McCaffrey on the 49ers could be a godsend for them. And they even list the Commanders. I don't know. We should go.
Bro, wait. Marquise Brown is out indefinitely.
We can't do him like that. Oh, where are you seeing that? You seeing the news right now?
So Robbie Anderson, I'm sure you heard, got traded
Yeah.
from the Panthers to the
That's right.
Cardinals, hence the fire sale that you were mentioning.
Yes.
But Marquise Brown, it says the Arizona Cardinals acquired wide receiver Robbie Anderson on Monday, a day after wide receiver Marquise Hollywood Brown suffered a foot injury that will sideline him indefinitely. Dude, no. He is a linchpin on one of my teams.
I think it's
which you want to talk about bullshit. This is what God damn it. Sometimes I worry that like there's too much noise in my head.
I'm just going to put this as ROCHA and Winston bullshitting for 20 minutes. Go ahead. Yes, go ahead.
So I was the story I was telling at the beginning where I was like, yo, I had to carry all the shit down the stairs and now I'm rushing. So in my mind, I wake up and I go, okay, I gotta pack up the car with the gear. I gotta get over there. Once they start getting the stuff set up, I gotta make sure I check my lineup and then I do whatever, right?
Yeah.
So I get now all of a sudden I'm running late. I'm having to lug all this shit. I'm 35 minutes late. I land at the onset at about 9:35. We get going, and then all of a sudden it hits me at 10:02. Fuck! I was so busy I didn't check. And guess who is sitting on my flex position? So I could have plugged in anybody.
Oof.
Chris Olave is sitting on my flex position. He is out for the game. No, I'm not talking to you, Siri. He is out for the game, and I am currently 100% because all of our players have played. I am currently losing by 0.06.
Yeah. Wow.
So I literally have to bank off of a stat correction. That is the only way to come out of this. Otherwise, I lost pure like that. The whole start of yesterday fucked me from top to bottom, bro.
Yikes. Oh, yikes. Well, there you go. I do not play fantasy, but yeah. Connor Pearson Ward saying he's only out for 6 weeks. That's not what they're saying on ESPN. They're saying indefinitely on ESPN. So we don't know for sure what the situation is there. But yeah, we're definitely getting
also at 10:15 this morning. So if that's changed now that the surgery was successful and and that and now it's 6 weeks, cool. But as of 10 this morning, they said it was an indefinite injury that potentially had been season ending, but 4 to 6, great. I am happy for him. I might not be around as a fantasy football team at that point, so that doesn't help me. But for his sake, because I like the guy, he's a good dude. I hope that it is short and he is able to get back out there.
Fair enough. Let's hit this one last super chat and we'll give our thoughts on who we think wins tonight. Ronaldo McWhiskey says, with Aaron Rodgers stepping down to go drop acid on the sidelines, there's nothing to stop the Vikings. What? I don't know what that even means.
Yeah, well, he went and did ayahuasca in the summer.
What? I don't know what that means. What did you say?
Aaron Rodgers went and did ayahuasca during the summer.
What's ayahuasca? I'm not.
It is a hallucinogenic drug that you a lot of times do in like Central and South America, but he went on like a vision quest doing ayahuasca and then came back and said, I had my third eye opened. I'm so ready for this season.
And they're 3-3. It's just like Jameis Winston when he said, you know what the problem was? I had issues with my eyes. I had LASIK surgery, so I am now a different quarterback, throwing just as many interceptions. So it's all lies they tell themselves, man. It's all skill when it comes down to it. He can open his third eye, but he can't find the third receiver. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah. I mean, so also, this is sad, dude. Josh Gordon was released from the practice squad of the Titans. That sucks, man. Damn.
The athlete's life, this, Winston, for those of us, both of us have watched sports for years. It's a window, man. And once that window closes, you can jimmy it open for a little bit, but eventually it's going to shut on you. And it seems like it's finally shut on Josh. And a receiver's life is short, man. It is short. So it's a shame for Josh for sure. But
only thing shorter, in my opinion, is truthfully running backs.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you were going to say Sam Levine. But all right. Yeah. Let's let's move on to. Don't make a Jane Fonda joke when you're playing Dan Murrell in the last game of the season, you son of a bitch. Anyway, all right. What?
Oh, shit, I'm knocking shit over. Damn. I'm knocking shit over. I better just go ahead and slide back over here.
I like your blue screen, man. You got to tell me where you got that because I think I want to get one. A blue screen.
Yeah, I got you.
All right, let's preview this game real quick, and we'll give our thoughts because we have 4 minutes left in the show here. Broncos and Russell Wilson, pretty much up in the air experiment right now. taking on Herbert and these Chargers. I got the Chargers winning. What do you think they pull off an upset here, the Broncos, and win this game?
No, I definitely think the Chargers kind of have this one in the bag.
Okay.
Russell just hasn't looked good, and
Yeah.
I can't tell. Honestly, I can't tell if the Seahawks just look like geniuses, and this is a situation where they were like, "Ooh, Russ has lost a step. Let's see if we can get something out of it," or if it's just truthfully what he got traded in the middle of the summer. I know that that's a decent amount of time to learn that offense.
Yeah.
But the Broncos offense the scheme has been pretty tricky.
Yeah.
And it's a situation that maybe he just needs a little time. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it is what it is, man. This is not what Denver expected at all.
No.
I can tell that for sure. So I think the Chargers got this one. I think they win by a score. I'll go 24-21.
Okay. All right. I think a 35-10 makes sense to me. I just have a feeling that Russell's going to keep struggling. I think that Chargers defense is damn good. And I think Herbert needs to get a victory here, man. He's been kind of shaky over the last few games. So I think he wants to come out, show out, especially in a marquee game like a Monday Night Football game, and show what he can do here to the rest of the country as well. So I got a feeling. Plus, they're at home in San Diego. So I should or in Los Angeles rather, because they're in Los Angeles now. I keep saying San Diego, but yeah. So we'll see what happens. But I think they get the victory for sure.
And NBA is about to start. It starts this week, right? Who are you want to make a pick for who you think's taking it all?
It ain't going to be the Lakers. I know that.
Ooh, you rude.
Let me look at this. Not the Hawks, not the Celtics. No. Pistons, Bucs. Maybe the Bucs make a resurgence here. I think the Sixers are going to shock a lot of people. I think the 76ers, quietly, I have them as a dark horse this year. I think having one more year with that team and the players and the pieces in place, I've got them in. Also, I think you can't count out the Brooklyn Nets. Even with all the drama, I got a feeling that with everybody coming back here, Durant and Irving, they're going to come back with a force. So I think either Sixers or Nets come out of the East. And with the Western Conference, I think the Dallas Mavericks are going to be fucking fantastic yet again this year. I don't see Golden State. I think Golden State's going to implode. I think that Draymond Jordan Poole shit is going to come back in different ways throughout the season and is eventually going to sink them. And I don't know if Phoenix makes a comeback and gets into position to take the title this year, but certainly possible. What about you?
I think the Bucs are definitely from the East. That's my odds-on favorite. I think Cleveland got massively upgraded. And they're going to make some noise. I don't know if they're ready to go all the way yet. It's still a pretty young team.
Yep.
I will tell you that I think the Celtics are going to completely fall off a cliff. I think all this drama losing your coach and so close to the start of the season, I genuinely think they're going to fall off a cliff.
Yeah.
I don't care how good they looked last year and how close they were to that title. I don't see that happening. So yeah, I think the Bucs for sure. I think you already know what I gotta say, baby. You know we're gonna do the damn thing. My favorite tweet of the last month happened to be that I don't know what they were referring to.
Yeah.
But they were essentially like, "Nah, I'm not gonna watch that shit. If I wanted to see a white boy, beat the hell out of a bunch of oh god, this is awful." So they said they weren't gonna go see the new Till movie.
Oh yeah, the new Till. It's got a lot of good reviews.
I heard it's incredible.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm emotionally ready to do it, but this is dark. But this homie goes, yeah, I'm not gonna watch that Till movie. If I wanted to watch a white dude beat a bunch of niggas, I would just go watch Luka Doncic play basketball.
Oh my. Oh my. Oh my. Once again, use of the word is only Winston. Winston, not the official position of the Game Time Show, but oh my.
It's a dark joke, but I won't lie. I spit all over the place and I was like, oh God, like, damn. Like, Jesus.
Someone call the paramedics, man. Well, I mean, 538 has you guys at 50-32 this year. ESPN sees you at 49-33. That's pretty possible. I like those numbers.
I just can't believe they put us below the Suns after we just completely sunned them.
Come on. Oh, boy. Wow.
I didn't even mean to do that. I was gonna say it, even though we were their daddy, but I as I was getting there, I was like, oh, this just naturally came out of my mouth. Wow. Okay. Well, here we are.
And here we are. All right, there we go. That's it. Let's get out of here. I got to go do a bunch of things. Thank you all so much for joining us today. We appreciate it madly. Winston A., where can they find you, brother? Everything that's going on. Thanks again for another fun show.
Absolutely. It was a good time. You can find me everywhere that Swaggy Blurs are sold. All the socials, the same exact handle. I've got my Atlanta episode 6 review with Matt Thomas coming up in like the next hour or so. I just got to upload it. Should have done it this weekend, but again, very busy, so I just didn't have a chance. Obviously, follow me on TikTok. I've been doing a lot of schedule. Please, if you haven't already, go follow me on TikTok. I'm trying to get to 1,000. There's some creator stuff that opens up when you get to 1,000 followers. Nice. Just hit over the weekend. We gained like an extra 100.
Yay!
We went from like 609 to 709. So I guess these sports victim units are popping off. So I got some good stuff there. And then please go over to my YouTube channel. Like I mentioned, got the reviews popping, but just shot some incredible sketches this past weekend. And those are going to be on there soon too.
Right on. And shout out to our G4 people who, of course, suffered what a terrible way to find out that you've been let go. Trust me, I know the feeling, the surprising kick in the nuts that it is to all of a sudden be let go from a job you've enjoyed doing. But we send out our sympathies and our thoughts of comfort to them, and hopefully, cry, get mad, punch a wall, go work out, drink, and then realize you've got a lot to offer and get out there and go find something else or build something else.
Yeah.
If I could serve as any kind of example, it's not over just because they let you go. You can still survive and do something in the world that you like doing. So just throwing that out there for anybody who might be watching or listening for crew. So yeah. Cool. As for me, you can follow me at The Rocha Says on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, The Outlaw Nation on Twitch. What else? Oh, yeah, all the stuff that's coming out. I dropped my my House of the Dragon reaction, instant reaction and review this morning. We're going live today at 5 p.m. PT, the Geek Buddies and I, to break down that She-Hulk finale and have some fun talking about all of that and see if it worked or didn't work for the three of us overall as a show and talk about where Marvel will be going after this. So join us there at 5 o'clock later on today. All right, y'all take care of yourselves. Be well. We'll talk to you next week with another brand new fun episode of Game Time. Peace.